Thanks for letting me know.
We move. You gotta catch up.
Okay.
You gotta catch up.
When we think clap, you clap.
All right. Wait, is my phone on silent? Make sure your phones are on silent, guys.
Are we filming?
We're rolling.
Oh, that's how we do. We just start. We just jump off the cliff and then we figure out the plane later. We build it later.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Slay.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to do that thing? Hello and welcome to Blue. Oh, no rewrites.
Whoa.
No rewrites. Sorry, it's the
Take
new
it
name.
again. Take it again.
Hello and welcome to No Rewrites episode.
We don't know.
21. What do you mean?
Do we know? Is it
Yeah.
21?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're legal in every way now.
Everywhere.
That's where
Every
it sounds
way?
It sounds a bit dirty. Yeah.
Jesus.
This is episode 21, Glenna. Oh, and you're probably wondering.
Who's this other person here?
Why is she so pretty?
Yeah.
Why is she so beautiful? And these two duds
Why are
are
these
here.
two? Why are Adeel and Jono nervous today?
Yeah, well, it's because we have the famed, wonderful, hilarious, beautiful, as mentioned, Glenna Walters with us.
Hi.
That was in the contract. We had to do 3 adjectives to describe her. And you nailed it, dude.
I did the massive research of pulling up Glenna's IMDb. Because Adeel and Glenna and I do a lot of improv together, but you may have seen Glenna on Anne with an E, on Grand Army, Baroness von Sketch Show, Why the Last Man, Lady Ada's Secret Society. It's a pretty impressive pedigree of work, and Glenna is also very young and has an extremely bright future ahead of an already extremely bright past. So we are honored to have you.
Oh my god.
That was a good
so
intro.
Bright.
That was a good intro.
That was good.
It's
Really
downhill from
bright
here,
in
dude.
We don't even have lights today. We don't even have lights in the studio today. It's just Glenna's radiating talent that's
It's
keeping
my
us lit.
teeth.
That's radiating, yeah.
Crest white strip.
Most recently, you saw her on a sketch show with these two guys. Tell us about that. How was that experience?
Yeah. Look at us, Second City grads, alumni, one might say.
I didn't think, if you told me when I was graduating like high school or college that I'd be graduating something again when I'm fucking 40, I would not have believed you. But yeah, we are recent grads. Also,
I didn't expect the diploma ceremony at the end. That was kind of funny to me.
I know.
I did not see that coming. Does that? I'm guessing that must happen every class. We're not that special.
Yeah,
but-
we're not special.
We're the only ones
think
that got a
they're
diploma.
contractually obligated. And I didn't expect the creative director to get my name wrong.
Oh yeah, Jono Hunt.
Yeah.
He's like Jono Hunt, and I'm like, oh, ooh.
My bag was
Interesting.
forgotten.
Oh yeah,
Ditched on the floor
No,
in
but
the
we talked
corner.
about this. That was like you wanted that because then you got this special.
Then I got a huge applause, so it's like, oh shoot, it was forgotten.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome to our podcast, dude.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. Anything you'd like to share about your listening experience of this podcast?
Yeah, so fun. One time my name was mentioned because I used to work at Medieval Times for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an inspiration to this podcast, clearly.
We
You're
pulled
our
a lot of
muse.
your stories into that one. We're just like, yeah, this is something that we know someone has lived. So
Yeah, maybe we should do a whole nother movie about Medieval Times today too.
Let's see what
Medieval
the prompt
Times
says.
2. It's not
Electric
times.
Boogaloo.
It's not times the sequel. It's times 2. So it's double Medieval Times. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's not Medieval Times 2, the sequel, like number 2. It's Medieval Times 2, as in multiplied by 2. So it's double.
Times.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Small
Wow.
words.
Whoa.
I just
You
watched
guys
the
got
light
ahead of me there.
fade from your eyes.
I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
What are you two on?
The same page.
Yeah, not me. So that's gonna be a long episode. Question for you: have you seen anything recently? What are you watching right now?
Currently I'm watching 90 Day Fiancé the other way, where instead of someone coming to America, they go to where their partners live. And it's been really drama filled. I really only watch reality TV.
Yeah, I have a second question, but before that, about 90 Day Fiancé, real quick, because I've only seen episodes with you and Nick, and they're so entertaining. I only watch reality shows like episodes with other people that watch them.
Okay.
I never watch it alone, but when I do watch it, I'm like, why am I not watching this all the time?
Yeah, 100%.
How do they meet that person? Like, what's the, like, I know the whole show is about, they go to their country and they figure it out, and it's like 90 days, their fiancés for 90 days, and then they decide if they want to get married. Am I right?
Well, in like the later seasons, the lines get blurred where people like come back. So it's like they could have been on it in like season 2
Okay.
and like that was the 90-day, but now they're like fully married and living together in the next season.
So it's like about, but it's about them. They
But
met
it's,
on it. And
yeah,
it's
they
like,
met on like Line, or they went to a trip somewhere and met them.
and then they submit themselves to the show, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And there's like full on people getting catfished on that show, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, I think I've seen an episode with
We
you of a
watched
guy
that
getting
episode.
catfished.
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
he just
yeah.
won't fucking believe that he's being
With,
catfished.
with the one with the sister, right? His sister.
Yeah,
tried to
and the
push
guy
him
like
to-
came out and said, I'm catfishing you. This is who I am. And he's like, that's not my girlfriend. It was like, no, duh.
and he still was like in denial, even after
Yeah.
the guy admitted. That's how it hurts, man.
I tell you, I never had such a strong ab workout that I got from watching that show because I'm literally just clenching my body at how painful it is. There was a guy.
I thought you
dating-
were meant you were laughing.
No,
Yeah,
well, I was
that is what I
laughing
thought.
too, but it was just like, oh my,
Cringe laugh.
like there's
yeah.
just so much like just human suffering in that show that's framed around a thing about love. It's like, God damn it, man.
Yeah.
It's great fucking TV, but it's horrific.
It is. It really
horrific
is.
real life shit.
And they really cracked it, man. Like that's why they probably bring them back too, right? So they know
it's just
exactly.
they have a
the
plan.
formula.
They make money every time.
Yeah. They nail it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Because my second question was gonna be, what's the most recent fictional thing you've seen? I mean, reality TV is becoming fictional. Let's be honest, but you know what I mean.
I just watched Bottoms.
Great movie.
Oh, I want to watch that.
So funny.
Yeah,
I like,
really well
love
done.
Rachel Sennott
Okay, I was thinking of
so
Bros.
much.
Bros is the one with that guy. What's his name? You know the what? What's that guy? He interviews on the street. Billy Eichner.
Yeah.
Didn't he
Okay.
make one? Yeah. Anyways,
He's like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, Bottoms. Right.
Yeah.
The girl from The Bears in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie. Really
fun.
good spirit, good mood.
And it was like written by 2 women, which was really cool.
Nice.
Written by Rachel Sennott as well.
Fuck yeah.
Oh.
I know. So cool.
And just before we start rolling into the objective of this podcast, I want to talk about just your sort of life and career up to date of acting and like your what draws you to performance, what draws you to writing sketches, what draws you to just kind of the world that we've all met in.
Attention.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Love it. Live for it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think ever since I was a kid, my dad was super into musicals, so I would go all the time. And then I was like, I'm going to be on Broadway. Then I tried to sing and I couldn't. So it was like, Broadway's not going to happen. Guess it's going to be TV and film. Well, actually, I thought I was going to do theater. And then I auditioned for In With an E in high school, got it. And then
How'd you find out about that audition?
through my high school, they were doing like an international search and came to my high school, which was really
Pretty
cool. So then that just full forced me right into it, and I
Yeah.
love it.
It kind of slingshotted everything because like that was that the first thing that you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, first thing I ever auditioned for.
That's really cool. And like, what was that moment like when you got that phone call from your agent? Or you didn't have an agent, so they just called your mom
They
and like
emailed me.
they're like, "Yo,
I
you
was
want
like,
to
I was
fly
on
to?"
lunch break in high school. We were at House of Wong. Love you, House of Wong. Great rice. And I got the email, and I was like, oh my god, and I like cried, and then I ran back to school to my music teachers, and I was like, what do I do?
Right.
And you're like, give me 10%.
Yeah, no, literally.
Let me sign you right now.
No, but then she helped me get an agent, and then they looked over the contract.
You
and-
believe the email right away? Like when you got the email, were you like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was from the
Who's fucking with me?
production team. It wasn't like
Yeah, fair.
imagine that would have sucked.
Yeah.
Brain, gotcha. You're like, dude.
That would have sucked so bad. But
Whose phone's not on silent?
it's Adil's computer.
Computer. I forgot
Turn
about-
your
I forgot about
computer on
computers.
silent.
I turned my phone on silent, but my computer.
Crazy. But anyways, yeah. So then I have been working for the past couple of years, and then it was really dead. So I was like, let's take an improv class, and I met all of you guys. And then I created a sketch troupe with Julia Ettlinger and Emily Callahan named Red Hot Silly Peppers. Shout out to Jono for the name. Love you. Yeah. And then I think I always kind of used to want to write scripts and stuff. Like I have written one before. It's so bad. But I think growing up, you get like in high school, I was like, I can take on the world. I'm going to produce this. I'm going to direct it. I'm going to star and I'm going to write it.
Yep.
And then I got older and I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. I'm not good enough.
I'm tired.
I'm so tired. So, but then writing the sketches made me kind of have a new love where it was like, oh my God, wait, I can be funny. I can write funny things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that you
absolutely.
can't do it. I mean, I see, like, and we've talked about this, even like after shows and stuff, that I could see you directing too, like for sure, eventually. Sorry, get hotter on the mic. That's what they say.
Absolutely. And
I
like
can
coming
see-
at it from a performance standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could totally like that. Yeah, you could totally have that. What's the Emerald Fennell? Isn't she like who's an actor and then she's a director? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she writes and acts.
Yeah.
But either way, sorry. I could totally see you directing, but yeah, it's not about like when you thought about it in high school and then you're like, fuck, this is a lot. It's just you have the right North Star. Like if you know what it is. It's just it's not like an overnight thing, right? It's like you said, you took a break, you started focus on acting, you didn't really write much, and then now you're writing now, and it's like you're getting all these different tools and resources and experiences that you can turn into a film. You know, so it's like it's just not that you can't do it. It's just not now, maybe because you're in the stage of just marinating.
Yeah.
And then it's like boom.
Or I think when you look at it, it's such a big thing. It's like, oh, I can't do that. That's too big.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which I think will shrink as
it already is,
grow,
baby.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure year by year,
winning,
it is,
you're winning awards for your writing already, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Maybe
And that's going to come in handy here because like just like the kind of Second City canon shit that we've been doing, like we kind of come at this through an improv lens, right? So we come up with the premise and then we fucking blow it out, but we just get to write it down. But only once, because there are no rewrites on this podcast.
Right. Before we
there
go
are no
to
blue
the prompt,
skies on this. No rewrites.
before we go into the prompt, let's do a little mind meld.
Love it.
Okay, get on the same
Three-way
page.
mind meld. Yeah, let's get on the same page. I guess anyone just hop in.
You guys want to start?
All
3, 2, 1, though?
Is it a 3, 2, 1 or are we
3,
just
2,
going
1.
1? Okay.
3, 2, 1, and then whoever wants to join in after.
We've
There's
all been
so
there.
many different types of mind meld.
Is it 1, 2, 3?
Is it 6, 7, 8?
Okay, got it.
Okay.
3,
2, 1, mug.
Fur mug.
Fur mug.
I got the first thing that comes to your mind. First thing. It doesn't have to make sense even. I got it.
3, 2, 1, mitten.
pouch.
Mitten pouch?
Oh.
3, 2, 1, pocket.
Ooh. Oh, guys, this is gonna be a good episode. It's gonna be a good episode.
Duh.
That was really good. I was not going there, but it's so obvious though.
That's so obvious.
That's a pouch for your mittens.
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay.
Let's leave on that high.
Nice.
All right, fine. All right.
Okay.
All right, prompt time?
Prompt time.
The prompt. Prompt.
Prompt.
That should actually be a thing. That's so good.
Prompt song.
Let me see that prompt. Love it when that prompt goes boom.
Okay.
Finds a way to use that.
So here is the part in the show where we reach into the Forsaken Green Bowl filled with prompts. Adeel and I have a bunch in there. Nick, our last guest, have some stuff in there still. Glenna has added some things.
Oh wow,
today.
there's shit like that's a month old in here.
Yeah, so I think like we just keep adding to this pile in this way. It'll be great.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
Okay.
Would you like to pick it, Glenna?
Yeah. Big
Okay.
time.
We're gonna break some rules today.
Wish I painted my nails. Don't zoom in on the fingers. Just kidding.
Just go and pick the first one. Or the first
We're
three,
all
I
stuck
guess.
together. Okay.
Is it yours?
No.
Oh.
Being kicked out of Improv Community.
What? I think that's Nick's. I feel like that's Nick's.
Has to be.
Wow, that's got to be Nick's. I
It's
did
like-
not write that.
Yeah, that's the whole story. He gave us a story.
Okay, Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Okay.
Being kicked out of. So the prompt today is.
Being kicked out of the improv community.
Okay. No, I'm already thinking like, how can you? Because that's not a genre, obviously, but it's a prompt. It's a get. What's a film like that? Let's start thinking that way. Like where you're in a community, you get kicked out.
What's the movie with Keegan-Michael Key and
Don't Think Twice.
Don't Think Twice?
That's kind of is that in a
They
way.
don't get kicked out of the improv community, but they progress beyond
He-
the
yeah,
improv
one person-
community. It's like a UCB style sketch troupe that has an actor in it who gets picked up on SNL or like some adjacent or some like SNL like show, and then the dynamic of the group changes.
So here's my two things about this. It is very inside baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's like, I mean, because already my one idea is the joke about this whole film, this short film, is the fact that like, you know how like you can't say no or you can't do certain rules. Someone just doing a certain rule and getting kicked out, and it's such a small rule. It's like him literally just saying no or like blocking, and they get kicked out. But then again, for the listeners, is that too inside baseball?
It might be. I don't like going back into the bowl,
No.
but Maybe we could pick like a secondary prompt to help bounce this, unless something comes to mind.
In my mind, I'm thinking kind of like what's the opposite of this prompt, where I can see it as like a drama, and kind of like, I don't know, this is like super, like I've thought of the whole arc. Not really, but like kind of something where it's the whole short film, he's been kicked out of something and it's a drama, but you don't know what he's been kicked out of, and you see him struggling and all this, and then at the very end you find out
improv.
it's improv.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that's really good, because then you don't have to be inside baseball about it at all.
I wonder, like, you're just
It's
having
just
these moments of someone
it's like
suffering.
suffering of feeling abandoned and alone.
Yeah, like, you know what? Like, what also, so that, to add to that, have you seen Whiplash?
No.
Have you seen Whiplash?
Yeah.
Whiplash is like, so Miles Teller's like this drummer, and then he's like obsessed to become the best ever, and then he finds this one teacher, J.K. Simmons, who really pushes him, but he's very like aggressive about it, and he weeds out
like
people who can't handle it. Like, he literally slaps Miles Teller in rehearsals. Like, he's that fucked up. And Miles Teller, though, even though it's like fucked what he's receiving, because he's getting better as a drummer, he's like fucking going with it, right?
Okay.
And then near the end, he gets kicked out of the band because he does something, and all like
Whoa,
near the middle.
Spoiler alert.
That's not the, like, there's way more to the film.
Oh,
You gotta
Whoa.
watch
I
it.
was like,
The film is so good. You gotta watch it.
Okay.
But my thing is, like, again, that film was so dark, so it's kind of like this dramedy to me, where it's like we take that part of that film, like what you're saying, where it's like, we take that part of the film, what you're saying, where it's like he's getting kicked out, and he's going through this whole like mental trauma.
Yeah.
At the end of it, yeah, and even does like a what's the word? A conversation that's not really on the nose, but it's like with his mom or his sister or his dad or whatever, and it's like, you got to make your own way, and then cut to the final scene is like him starting his own improv.
Yeah, exactly.
The Good Dog Theater. Third City.
Also, at the very inside baseball, I think I know where Nick got that idea. I'm just gonna say one thing.
Did Nick get kicked out of improv?
Well, no, Facebook. Remember the Facebook thing that happened recently?
Yeah.
No, we don't need to talk
No,
about
let's
that.
not.
No, but I'm just saying that's inside baseball.
Something about that gave me like the idea of soap opera vibes too. Like, if it's like fucking very dramatic and like hand on the window.
Oh, like I'm seeing like the first, like, I know it's a short film, but I'm seeing like the first minute or 2 minutes just pure silence.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Do you have a comp in mind, like a film that you're like, that kind of tone wise, that kind of you think of when you think of this idea?
I'm picturing like Little Miss Sunshine whenever they're in the cars after like fighting, and it's just like dead silence, and they're all like sweating and they're all miserable, but it's still like they're all together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like,
No, I like that.
riding the subway home in a group, but like it's just this weird tension, and then
you're like so lonely, but there's so many people around you.
Okay, let me see something.
Or like even the whole, should we go into the blue sky section now so we start riffing, or do you want to keep talking about
just a little bit, because comps help us get to that, because I want to get the same tone.
Yeah,
like Little Miss Sunshine, those scenes are great. I think Whiplash, there's something there, but I want to find a film I haven't seen Demolition, with Jake Gyllenhaal, where he's like loses his wife, and then the film's about him like dealing with grief.
I've never, I recognize the poster, but I've never seen the movie.
Let's see here. Oh, that does come up. That's funny. Have you guys seen The Place Beyond the Pines?
Or like, or is Best in Show like kind of a good tone for that?
I've never seen it. That's a full mockumentary though, right? Comedy?
Yeah. It's like very grounded characters doing ungrounded things. It's really interesting and funny. But...
Have you guys seen Inside Llewyn Davis?
No.
I saw maybe the beginning, and then the cat got lost. Right?
Yeah. What keeps
and then I stopped.
Like,
I got lost. I'm the cat. But yeah, like, I don't know, a sense of community, having that and then losing it for something silly, or like there is a lot to go in there. So we could examine the like just the feeling of rejection and the feeling of not being a part of something, and then do the big womp womp rug pull at the end.
Yeah.
It's just like
level
A improv.
You can start at the bottom. He's like talking about, like, they're talking about him starting at the bottom, and he's like, but I spent so many years that I was at the top and all this thing, and it's like his bottom is level A improv.
Yeah.
Like improv 1. He has to go all the way back.
He's got to do
beginners
notes. It's going to be hard not to be inside baseball. If you're an improviser in Toronto, you're going to probably get a lot out of this.
I think the way you make it not inside baseball is like the one thing that's super relatable is the idea of like exclusion or like feeling like even you
Yeah,
had
I think-
friends and people you
Yeah,
loved
I don't think we should hint towards improv
until the
at
very end.
all.
Like the final joke maybe is that what you're thinking? Or like
Yeah.
not, yeah, right? Because like the whole thing is at the end, like say the whole film ends with I like to sign up for improv 1, like him starting at the bottom or him putting on a show. That's maybe the last scene. But until then, it's like we don't even mention improv. It's more his what do you think? Your brain, I see your brain moving.
I don't know like what I would like base it off of, but in the end, like I'm picturing it like it's like a close up of his face, and it's just kind of like a dark background, and you don't know what it is, and then you just see like these like curtains behind him like pulling forward, and he's like hasn't smiled once throughout the movie,
But now he smiles.
and then he turns around and he's like.
Okay.
And he's like on stage,
Yeah.
and he's like everyone's applauding.
What's your
and he's
credit
like,
card? Or
and he's
who
like,
here
can
hasn't
I get a
seen that?
location?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. He gets a get. He gets a
yeah,
fucking get.
yeah.
And that's the
like,
name of the short film. Can I get a?
Can I
Can I get a location?
But yeah,
Who
and
here
maybe,
hasn't seen improv before?
Maybe, yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Shout out your favorite color.
But like doing things in the main part that are like analogous to improv things, but applied to another situation of grieving. Like it could just be like the stepping out and the just being in agreement all the time and like that, and having
Even like
him.
checking your phone to see if anyone's texted you. And then
That's so real. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can have a little fun because like there could be layers where if you don't know improv, you still understand. Like you said, like if we mention verbs or words in general that maybe work with improv, but can also work with a corporate job or whatever, and we kind of fuck with the audience in that way because on a surface level, it's still about losing something. But then if you do know improv, you can also have a second laugh.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I know what they're talking about.
Layered.
Yeah. I think now we should really go to the blue sky section because we're kind of writing almost now.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start
All right.
writing.
Okay. Blue sky.
Okay. Here's where we literally beat out the story. We
Wanna
beat it out of
give
ourselves.
a quick definition of what this blue sky part is.
So the blue sky part of writing, the part of the writing process is just if you have unlimited potential. So just throw any single idea at the wall. If you had all the money in the world to make this, if you had the best actors, if you had the best, crew, whatever, just any idea that we can come up with, we can go super far down one road and then make a left turn from there. But it's really just about blowing out this get and generating new ideas based on it. And then ultimately by the end of this section, we're going to want to have the beats in our head as to where the story's going to go. And then we're going to write it out and then perform it. So
We're coming up with
we're just building the
whole
engine
script,
right now. Yeah.
And just to give you an example, like one of the episodes, and just not even in this podcast, but in general with writing, we've both gone down routes where it's like for 15 minutes, what? For 15 minutes, we'll talk about one idea and we'll literally be like so obsessed with it. And then the 20th minute, we've taken a turn. And we're not even going to do any of that. So
or like the last 10
precious.
minutes we scrap. Yeah. So
If you say no to my idea, it's not a personal thing.
no.
With you, it is.
It's just that
with
you think
it is.
your idea is better. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
So opening image, catchy visual.
Okay.
Open on a catchy visual.
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea for the opening.
Okay.
Hit it.
Just to like really set the tone. I think it's this guy and he's in his kitchen and it's a rundown, dimly lit, gross, ugly kitchen. And he's like miserable, but he's not like miserable, but his face is just like very like not
Monotone
happy.
almost.
Slowly.
Monotone, like just like it's like a routine. Like he gets up, he makes a coffee, he puts his toast in the toaster. But to like really, I think, set his emotion is I would love to see his toast come up and it's like burnt and he just starts sobbing.
Yeah. He's just sobbing and then maybe just eats it anyway.
Yeah. And it's not even like, he's just like, and there's like tears. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. That's nice.
Like, I think that just sets his emotion right off the bat. You know who he is.
Yeah. Do we want to add a little bit of color in it? So it's not, because again, I'm just thinking of the short, so it's not dead silence. Not that this is the way, but I like that. What if when he's doing that, you hear him like maybe he has AirPods or like an answering machine. He's listening to voicemails while all this routine is
I don't think he has
happening.
any voicemails.
Oh, because no one cares about him?
Maybe he could check his voicemails, and it's
Yeah.
like, you have no new voicemails.
Or they're very mundane ones where it's like, your contact lenses are ready to pick up at
Yeah, it's
thing.
like,
And he's like,
"Brr, you want a trip.
yeah, and it's very just bullshit voicemails, you know?
Yeah,
the robo-dialers.
that's
Because
fun.
then it's like something vocally happening, and it's like, that could be fun. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that the one thing that pushes him over the edge is the fucking burnt toast.
I'm also kind of picturing it like a motel room. Like the kitchen's attached to the bedroom.
Yeah.
It's like it's a studio apartment.
Or maybe
Yeah.
he's like done the classic LA thing where like you move there to become a thing and you're living out of a motel, like one of those
Yeah,
like
exactly.
60s
Florida Project
like
kind of
2
vibe.
level. Yeah, exactly.
Like it's the gross flower print bedding.
And like the coffee's the fucking really shitty 1-cup fucking thing. I picture him opening up a can of something while the coffee's being brewed too. You know, he's gonna
Beans or,
spread some
like-
tomato paste on his fucking toast. Here's something weird that just happened that kind of relates to it and could be a thing. Like, I just had an email, like one new unread notification, and I read the name and the headline and the subject and stuff, and then it just disappeared. So I wonder if that person unsent it. And imagine like this guy gets an email and he's like, ooh, and he goes to open it up, but then it's unsent.
That's so good.
That's sad as fuck.
Super sad.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to do this show? And he's like, oh my God. And then it disappears, but the show might tip off the improv
Yeah, I
thing.
think that,
Yeah.
Or are you available Friday? And then
Yeah.
that's it.
Or how about like literally just to like give anything the tip off of the show. If it's like, you get a WhatsApp message when you've been removed from a group.
Oh,
So it's literally like you've been
yeah.
removed from, and the name could be so whatever. It could be like, think of a troop name that's just very like you can't tell it's a troop name. So you could literally be removed, and that's like one of the messages on his phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Removed
Yeah,
from-
yeah.
Could that be like after the voicemail?
Yeah.
Like that's he cries over the toast, and then it's like
And then the
ding,
last thing is that
ding,
yeah.
and he's like, and he checks his phone, and it's like been removed, and he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
to really add salt to the wound. Yeah.
So another question, like, what do you think I feel like it's a he because we can put him through the ringer and not feel like dicks.
Agreed.
We can just
Base it
really
off someone.
make
Yeah.
men cry.
make men cry. But what did he do? What did he do? I always thought this probably isn't it, but maybe it'll spur something. But like a funny sort of sketch premise would be someone like an improv class circa 2001, September 11th specifically. And someone comes into the room like late for class and like, oh my God, the Pentagon's on fire. And there's a scene happening and they're like, yeah, cool. Like and they're like, no, and the World Trade Centers are down. They're like, yeah, cool. I'm sure that the life is not going to be the same after this, is it? And like no one believes him. They just think that he's like giving something to a scene.
It's so good though. It's so messed up.
But like, could it be like an inappropriate suggestion? Like, because that could also inform the things that are happening there, or do we even need to know that?
My thing is we write it linearly, like just go what's happening right now, and then I think it'll come to us. I don't think we have to. That's what my thing. I'm open to figuring out the
But it
backstory.
could help to like
But I don't know
write
what,
it knowing who he is. Like,
Yeah.
who
But
we
I think
he
it'll,
is.
and I'm cool with that too. But I think it'll like almost uncover as we kind of keep, because we're still blue skying it right now. So it's like, what is the next scene? What is the next scene? And then it's like maybe something that's happening will kind of, when the character kind of talks to you back a bit.
Yeah.
So instead of us like trying to go backstory, it's like let's go front and then the back will come.
Let the
Because I
character
like
tell us.
inappropriate, but then what if we stumble upon the fact that it is super simple almost?
Well, that could be it too. And like, I think we don't want to fall into the trap of like writing a non-sympathetic character too. Like if they did do something kind of creepy or whatever, like it's going to make us care less about them. So
Yeah.
But there's also like, there's the thing about these improv classes and troops and shit, there's such a wide swath of people. Like the bar for entry is just like your willingness to put yourself out there and meeting people. But a lot of times like the generational differences cause people not to vibe. Like people in classes will bring
doesn't
up
vibe,
weird
right?
stuff.
Yeah.
And like a guy who was brought up in the 60s is going to have a different style of humor than someone brought up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever. So like that's a big thing too. But we've all like met people like that, so it's like tough to go down that road at risk of like sounding like we're talking about someone specifically or people specifically. But every class I've done in North America has had like lower level improv classes have had that person, or a couple of those people.
again, I don't know if this changes it a lot, but I know we said the ending should be him being like, "Can I get a?" or him. That's a great ending, but because he's been kicked
That's
out.
the ending you said.
That was yours.
Such a great
that was
ending.
yours. The
No, but the
curtains
line.
the line is classic. But there's something about because he's been kicked out of the improv community. That sounds more like he's not allowed back in. Maybe he can't do improv again. Should the last scene be the curtains and everything? But he's doing stand up now. Like it's like he's changed his mode of. There's something.
But you would have to like set up that it was improv prior to that.
We could find out. That's like I'm not like again. I'm blue skying it right now. I'm very like if we like that idea.
I'm seeing some clouds in that sky.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like I'm getting started. Like it's like I think anything. If we like that idea, we can find a step before it. We can totally find a scene right before it where it's like there's a reason, or the email comes in where we kind of tell the audience it was improv that he got kicked out. We can figure that out as we go. But to me, I'm like, if he's gotten kicked out of improv community, the ending is like, does he go back into it and start at the beginning, or does he just pick a different form of entertainment because now he has to?
I don't know. I kind of like that improv is like a super like vulnerable and sensitive thing where I feel like if he like went to do stand up, I like love stand up, Avi, but you know what I mean? There's like kind of like a
there's an
essence to stand up, and I think.
But I'm saying he has to do it because he's been kicked out. Like, when you've been kicked out of a certain thing and you're not allowed in, he almost is like, how do I? But that was my safe space. That was where I felt the thing.
I think I like the idea of like full redemption though.
He has to go back.
And like he goes back and he's
from
like,
the beginning,
like
maybe, kind of
he's
thing.
just been this dour motherfucker the whole time, and then just like you say, the curtain opened and that smile comes up, and he's like,
and it's oh my god, I'm like in love with him already.
Yeah, and like so, yeah. How old is he? What's he do for a living? Because like it could also be really interesting to see him at a Joe job, miserable. Like improv was his
like
thing.
Telemarketing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like a very lonely job too. Like, it's not where you're having business meetings and like talking. It's like
just call center
you
shit.
have your cubicle and you stay there for 8 hours
And like
and then you go home.
calling old people and preying on them a little bit.
I don't know, but I think we have to like him. Like, I think if our overall essence of, because I think what's already been kind of said is the overall essence is something that we can all relate to, of being lonely and feeling alone and the different aspects of that. Where I think if he's a douche, people won't want to
That's
relate
true.
to him.
So maybe maybe the telemarketing thing, like that's the only job he can get, but it's like a charity. Like it's not a scammy one.
It's
like
boring
there's
job, right? It could be selling freaking juicers. It's not like it's more
I
about
feel like
because now you're saying he's scamming old people. Let's just take that out.
Yeah.
But he could be selling juicers, and again, it's a job of like rejection, which is kind of funny because improv is a lot of that too at times, or whatever, right? Like figuring it out.
Oh, yeah, that's
so
true.
It's like he's literally on the phone and he's trying to sell it, and it's like a lot of people just hang up on him, kind of thing. So that's his life. Sorry, I just had I don't want to lose this thought. First scene. So you know how we're thinking of the opening, where it's like the kitchen, the toast, the WhatsApp group gets
deleted messages.
Sorry, he gets removed from it. Because that could be like right before the credits. Even him getting removed is such a big part of like he's literally being removed, which is the get. But I hear like a J cut of audio where it's like while he's like looking at that, someone starts talking to him, and we cut to he's in a therapy session 1-on-1. That could be a device to kind of help.
Yeah, you could.
As he narrates his life then to that therapist, because we need a device to be like, how are we showing this short film? So it's like he starts talking about like she's like, so how's work? And it cuts to the work and he's talking about it. He's like, it's the same day in and day out, and he's at the telemarketing job.
Yeah, you could.
So
you
that
could
the audience can get a little
that.
Yeah, totally.
And then cut to like, what about your love life or whatever? And you can kind of go through his life a bit to really show how shitty it is and how much he misses his thing that he's been removed from.
Kind of like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
But not The Sopranos. It's The Sopray yes ands.
So
you
good.
can do better, baby. You can.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
It was a
We'll circle
stretch.
back.
It was a stretch. Yeah, I like that. It allows us to kind of bake in a narrative, a narration. I love that. Something else flew through my head when you were talking, but it's gone. You need to know that there were ideas.
There were ideas. Yeah. I was thinking, guys. Okay, cool. So we know that we have the therapist. We have the telemarketing
therapy. So
job.
like it's maybe it's just kind of like day in the life.
Yeah.
And that show that he gets could be that night. You know what I mean?
She
so
could
it's
be
like,
are you excited or nervous about tonight or whatever at the end of it or something?
Or she's like, you know what, my brother does improv. I could ask him or whatever. You know, jump on
We
this
say
show.
Improv.
Oh yeah. So that's the thing.
Well, when he's leaving, what if because just to make him a bit more desperate, so she doesn't offer it. He goes, she's like, okay, well that's our session. He goes, so you mentioned your brother puts on shows or puts on some weekly at the bar or something, like, again, not saying improv completely, and then she can be like, yeah. He's like, well, you know, if there's like some time available, and she can kind of like smile very like reluctantly, and then cut to she talked to her, like we just behind the scenes she talked to her brother.
And right, that could be it. And also maybe it's not, because like it might be a quantum leap for him to be kicked out of the improv community and then go to like hosting the show. But maybe he's like, the whole thing is like the curtain opens up and he's on the back line, and we just like we see the curtain open and there's other people, like kind of a dude out of focus in the foreground, like deep background of that, and it's someone else being like, who here has seen improv before, you know, and the guy's just on the back line like, you know.
Yeah.
Or is
because like him hosting might be a bit of a leap.
Is it sadder if it starts on his face and then it's like curtain lights opening and you hear someone, and we're still on his face, and you hear someone go, "Can I get a location?" And we cut to a wide, and he's in the audience just like still, because he can't get over improv, so he's watching the show.
That's
just
that
a sadder ending where it's like you think for a moment he got redemption.
But it could,
yeah,
go.
Sorry, lightning, maybe. So the therapy session could just be about like, well, why do you need to be a part of something to enjoy it? You know what I mean? And then it like sits with this poignant moment, and like he just maybe, and that's why he got kicked out, because he was just focused on the performance. He's a bulldozer. Maybe that's the whole thing, right? And a bulldozer would be someone who like kind of blows past your suggestions on the stage and like has their own idea and just walks into the scene and does not take anything from anyone and kind of hijacks the scene, so to speak.
And makes it like all about themselves.
It makes it all about themselves and whatever, and they
just,
can't adapt to your ideas.
Exactly, that's the big one.
It's
they
kind
push
of
their
the
narrative,
antithesis
like,
of improv.
You
but
could be
then,
like, we're in an airplane, and the person will be like, but they already have an idea, so they're like,
yeah,
but the airplane's on the ground.
But the airplane is also a coal mine.
yeah.
Or also in the 1800s, so there is no airplanes.
Yeah. But we're still in one. It just doesn't exist. So,
I'm so glad you're here for this episode. So inside baseball.
But then, the therapist could be like, well, why do you have to be a part of, like, I can't enjoy it anymore. And it's like, well, why do you have to be a part of it to enjoy it? And then he learns to
That's a really good foreshadowing.
Be a fan of improv.
The first time you see him smile in the whole show is when he's watching.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
So
Yeah, that's a super.
And that's a really cool way of never saying improv, but by just her saying that, him smiling, you're like, improv is what he got kicked out.
Yeah, and it says you
never use the word at all.
Mm-hmm.
Who is here has never seen improv, and there's a couple claps, and it's like, who has, and he just claps, or something like that.
Just
yeah,
crying a little bit. He's like tearing up and clapping.
I remember what I was gonna say, and it had nothing to do with anything other than you talked about a J cut earlier. And just for those who may not know what a J cut is, that's when the sound of the proceeding scene comes into the shot right before. So like,
so if the shot's on him and the burnt toast, and he's looking at the WhatsApp message, you hear the therapist from the next scene start talking,
and then you would cut to that.
So Donald,
shot
how is?
and
And
show
then
us
we
who
cut
is
to that.
talking?
So
Yeah. That's just.
And then there's what's the other one? L cut, which is the opposite, where
the sound continues and then goes into the next.
So the ding from the WhatsApp will be here, but then we start showing the next scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to clear that up for the folks at home or in their cars, or hopefully
Tracy,
not on your bicycle. I hope you're not on your bike right now.
I know you hate that reference.
Yeah, I feel like
what even is that reference?
It's a reference from Smartless, and we always end up saying "by the way" they do too. It's just fun to say. And anyway, those guys are funny, but yeah. Okay, so redemption and like kind of realizing your place, and that like the idea of this guy, like he could be a victim of these circumstances, but really he just was a victim of like not quite grasping what the whole thing was, or like having a full picture of it. So like there's a lot of fodder in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like, what does that look like? Like, we're talking about the ending and the beginning, but I'm trying to therapy. I like the telemarketing thing where he talks about his day job. Him not say it is improv, obviously, and he was doing, let's say, 3 days a week or 4 nights a week he was doing improv, like shows and classes and all these things. Now that he doesn't have it, that's what it is. I'm trying to boil down. Maybe the therapist brings that up, like, what do you notice the biggest difference? And he's like, I have so much time. And then he's trying to reach out to friends that he had cut off because of improv, because he was too busy to hang out with them.
Right.
Like, what's the turmoil? Like, besides the fact that he can't do improv, how is it affecting his personal life?
Yeah, I think, a lot of like alone in a crowd shots, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
He's like, I have so much free time. She's like, what do you do during it? And then we just cut to a montage. He's like, I just walk a lot now. And
I was literally just going to say, I'd love like an Easter egg of like him walking kind of down like, I'm picturing like, LA, right? And it's like kind of like a dirty sandy road, but he's like walking right past like a theater.
Yeah.
And like on the like thing
It's
you
like
say like
improv
improv
science.
8 p.m. but he like doesn't look at it, like it's just a clip of him walking past, but that would be a really cute Easter egg.
Is it too much of an obvious Easter egg if he's like watching something and he just like object works a glass? He's like,
Too.
That's a coil egg, dude. That's fucking.
Imagine I was literally watching like, what the hell?
it just takes
I
off
was
some
gonna
imaginary
something, I was gonna
glasses.
something along those lines where it's like, is it too much if like he's at a grocery store, and the person scanning the stuff is like, okay, this, yes, and one of those, and he's like, what? And he just perks up because he hears yes and.
Yeah, or if he's like, you know that game, thank you for the, and like they do the thing. He's like, thank you for the bouquet of flowers. Or like, it's bananas. Dude. He's like, fuck. All
He's
right.
at the grocery store and they're like, just these 5 things?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh man, that's for people who don't know that one. That was.
But
so
like
good.
that could be the subtle thread through there, like just these 5 things, and like he just has a feeling, and then you may or may not get that.
Because we have to make sure the
but
surface
people
level
are-
without improv still works, which is him being lonely.
Yeah.
And you just pepper in these
Just
things.
these 5 things, and it's just like, yeah, or maybe he has to take one away because he can't afford it or something. Like just build something tragic into that.
Yeah.
Can we explain 5 things real quick in case?
5 things is a game in improv. You want to explain it? You explain it.
Yeah. So it's a game. It's a warm-up game. You all stand in a circle and you saying 5 things. 5 things, 5 things, 5 things, 5 things. And then the person to your left, you give them a prompt and they have to name 5 things. It could be like, what are you taking to my cottage? You have to be like, shoes, my dog,
2,
panties,
3.
say panties.
For
And
the
yeah,
dog.
but again, like panties are for the dog.
for the
obviously.
dog panties.
But and again, like it's a lot of improv games sound silly or like, okay, well that's just naming stuff. But the point of it is like what really helps is like get out of your head, because you don't have to say 5 things that even make sense.
Yeah.
Like it could be like 5 things to my cottage. It's like
Rocket.
rocket. The patrol for the rocket. Like just whatever comes to your mind, because improv sometimes the worst thing you can do is just think too much.
Yeah.
And get stuck in your head. So the whole point is just say 5 fucking things.
Panties.
Yeah.
Yeah, panties.
And yeah,
You watch
we-
a new girl and it's like, take your panties off. Why you say it like that? Remember when like comparing how black guys say panties and white guys? Take your panties off. Take your panties off.
the 5 things joke could play just because it's like we could find some tragedy in that, but also like for astute listeners and people who are listening to this are the people who are going to listen to the script. So like it's the context will be there, and it's not like we have to like you know
for sure
be super cryptic in the actual script.
Again, as long as there's always it's a 2-fork or a 2-prong thing where it's like two-prong thing. Where it's like a 2-prong approach where it's like we got to make sure the surface still can work without the improv knowledge.
Yeah.
That's all about.
But if we can name some games in there that
fuck
would
yeah.
trigger him, would be really funny.
I think it would also be cool to like brainstorm some things that we find lonely, like especially if we want to add like the improv jokes of like what's he doing that's super lonely. Like I think eating at a restaurant alone can be super lonely. What are some other things that are lonely?
watching a movie alone.
I mean, I love both of those things. I love just like
You're a very secure person.
a
very healthy person.
I just have a vivid inner life, so I just like turn this
Yeah.
off and go inside, and I'm like, "Arr."
You fucking
what I find lonely,
masturbating.
and I'm about to do it, is like travel jobs. Like you go away and like for a bunch of times you're like, so that's like if I'm on a trip and I'm eating alone in a restaurant after 2 weeks of being away, I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Gets homesick too a bit,
Yeah,
right? That's
it gets
why.
a little homesick.
What are things that are
I think like
lonely?
seeing either like people's Instagram stories of like how they're doing
That's
fun things.
Doom scrolling.
Oh,
is
he's
lonely.
gotta definitely while walking see friends at a cafe, because that's like, instead of just a lot of the film being him on his phone or the WhatsApp stuff, it's like him literally seeing people have fun. That's like it could bum him out.
And like removed from the group, and then he like texts someone from the group when he sees a group of people out at a
Or they look at
cafe,
his
and he
messages
texts it,
and
Could
and
he
he like
see his
looks
like
at it.
improv troupe or like one of the guys from his improv troupe, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like buddy, we missed you," and he's like, "I'd like to come back."
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's very cryptic. If you want to talk about improv,
yeah.
but that scene is very like it's like that could be a fun scene to write, because
Yeah.
it's like their conversation is so like. Have you seen Manchester by the Sea? Anyone?
Yep.
You know when Carey Mulligan and Casey have that one conversation about their dead son
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like that conversation. It's like just it's cryptic because it's like, what did they lose? Like, what is this? Make it very dark, because that's I don't want to lose the essence where you brought this whole idea from. Is like the kind of the dark comedy comes from the fact that we're treating this like a real dark, like sad.
And the
lonely
punchline
thing.
is
It's
until the
improv.
very end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure
I
that
love
scene
that
feels
shit.
heavy. Like them talking, it's very awkward, and it's like, is it a love triangle? Is it like, what the fuck happened with these people?
Yeah. And maybe like there could be this moment that builds to that is like seeing that group and then the guy sending a text, dude actually seeing someone like, ooh, ignore it. But then he keeps sending him texts. He's like, I can see you. Then it's hard cut to that conversation, like just down the street from the cafe or something, because he like forced the guy to come out and talk to him. And then it's like a really awkward conversation, you know?
I
the
kind
guy
of want to
just
separate
ignored him.
those two.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of the conversation being with someone else than the person who ignored. That's my gut.
Oh,
I'm cool with
maybe
whatever.
like this won't have any bearing on it, on the actual structure of it, but maybe the other person is like from another team. He's like, oh, I heard about you leaving. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be weird without you. And it's like, well, I mean, I could come with you guys. And it's like, no, we're like full.
Yeah, that's pretty
you know what I mean?
cryptic
Like
too,
trying to
'cause it's like,
jump
is it
to a different
sports
team.
thing? Is it like that's pretty good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we?
And then what to go back to this lonely conversation, I always picture it actually seems kind of fun, but there's something sad and lonely about the people who stand on the road with signs and they like flip the sign around for like it's like a mattress sale and they like just do little dances at intersections. That's actually too fun of a job, I think, for him. Yeah.
Wait, before I forget too, I think it could be really fun if we ended that conversation he had with this like friend. He's like, oh, like tell everyone I say hi, and he'll be like, yeah, I will. And he forget the like guy, not our guy, the guy forgets his name, and he's like Pete. And he's like, right, Pete, I'll totally do that. And he's like, and then Pete is like, okay, bye, John. Like Pete remembers his name, but John doesn't remember.
I'm trying to think,
Pete's
is there a
name.
joke there, or like and maybe it's too not dark anymore, but if he goes like and he goes Pete and he goes John and he goes, oh, John, like he kind of does a clap focus to him,
Right.
Well, that's
So that
fun.
might be-
That's fun.
just to kind of
Just
Easter egg.
like this, just to say
Yeah, he
hi,
goes
like they're just passing.
no
the
at
street.
the end when like say it's me and you, for example,
Yeah.
and you forgot my name because like I got kicked out, so I'm like, okay, well, see you, Jono. No, see you, and you go, see you, like you forget my name,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Just-
Jono, and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, Adeel, and you're like, Adeel.
Yeah.
It's like a little mention of a clap focus. Just to
Yeah,
kinda-
but I also don't think he knows. It's the name's forgotten first, and then after
Yeah,
that, that's like
fair.
he knows his name. You know what I mean? Like if you guys were on the
So
street,
I'm the one kicked out. And
you're
then
the ones
yeah.
kicked out. You're like, oh, that whole conversation has happened. You're like, well, tell everyone I say hi.
I say that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're like, tell everyone I say hi. John was like, yeah, for sure, I will.
I'll
you
tell
go,
them.
a deal. Right, a deal. Yeah, okay, bye, John. Jono.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah,
he
perfect.
just had to ask
So
you, but you already knew his name.
So
Like
forget
that's
the clap
another
focus
lonely
then?
feeling.
Or do we find a way to shoehorn it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd
We
just
can-
be like,
There's something there. We'll figure it out. Down
Yeah.
the writing.
yeah.
So far, just to kind of recap, it's the breakfast, therapy, work, street,
I thought it was work then therapy.
No, therapy that he.
and then
the
we'll
narration.
establish
Okay,
therapy
okay.
early on, so we can always
But
go
we
back
keep
to
going
it.
back to the therapy.
Yeah,
Therapy's
yeah.
like happening on the Friday where the show's on Friday night, and now through the therapy he's talking about his week, maybe,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like work, and it's like meeting this guy. He's like, well, something awkward happened. I ran into a thing, and then we cut to that meeting. It's like them meeting each other.
Oh yeah, that's
Could we thread in? This is just more of a narrative thing. That last beat, so it's like work, maybe it's love life, maybe it's like we also do like walking alone on the streets, eating by himself. He saw his friend, texted him, they didn't reply back. Then he met an opposing team member.
Ran into him on the street.
So when maybe that's the last one where he meets an opposing team member or a team member in general, and they say, yeah, I'll tell him whatever. And then he could even in that conversation, he's like, when they cut back to the therapy, he's like, he told me there's a show tomorrow. They're meeting up tomorrow night, and she's like, that's when she pushes him, being like, well, do you have to be part of something to enjoy it?
Then could it be? Sorry,
Yeah.
thinking later. Because was the idea already that he goes to the show of the group that he was kicked out of, or does he go to any improv show?
It could be either or.
Because then it could be cool if that character John is the one hosting the improv show.
Oh yeah.
Because then we just call back
And
to
then
that.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah. Then you
that's
really
the group
know.
they were talking
Yeah,
about.
then you really, because again, I'm okay with it being John could be his old teammate too. It doesn't have to be opposing.
Yeah.
But I do love that. That's really like again telling you that it's about improv without mentioning, because at the end you see John.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
great.
That's super smart. Friend is hosting. Okay. Let's talk about loneliness a little more.
What are things? Oh, I was gonna say something that's kind of feels lonely. Is when you're at a party, like you're invited. Say it's networking or it's like a party where you put with a friend, they left early and you don't know that many people there, And sometimes if you're in a social mood, like I can turn it on and I can just make friends right away. Sometimes it's like I just don't have it, and then you feel a bit lonely because you're like, there's cliques already happening.
Yeah, film festival parties, man.
That's a good example. Right?
With the exception of a few great ones, but most of the time you're just like, you're just in a mixer getting free drinks, and you're like, okay, I can't stand with the one person I know the whole time.
Yeah.
So and they're already working the room. What do I do now? And like, oh god,
it's so weird because it's like you can turn it on sometimes though. You can actually weirdly make friends, but sometimes it's just so hard because you're just in your head, and it's like, so do we do a scene where he's like, and I keep going back to Love Life. Maybe it's not a Love Life. Maybe it's like he tried to make a new friend, so he went to his work mixer, and he can talk about that, and he's at a party that he doesn't really know people. Because now that he's on the improv community, one of the things that he would kind of need to do, or if you're not part of any community that you used to be a big part of, is you have to go find new friends. How do you do that? Maybe you're like, I'm going to hang with my work friends, and you realize I have nothing in common with these guys. Or I'm going to go hang out with these people. Like my wife's friends at her office party.
Or because there's like Bumble for friendship and shit, right?
Yeah. It could even it could be at his therapy, and he's like, I like last night I tried to go to a bar to get out of my comfort zone, and it cuts to him in like a dive bar, and it's just like 4 other people. And when you go to like a dive bar and there's regulars there and they're such sweet people, but they're so lonely that they go to a bar every night.
Yeah.
So it cuts to him at this bar, and it's just like 4 people with like 3 chairs worth of faces apart, and they're all just like staring forward and drinking beer or something.
Yeah, that's a good
that
one.
I think could.
Yeah, just like staring into their beers, not doing anything. The guy just kind of looking around for a connection.
And that could also be a quick joke where it's like cuts back and she's like, oh, how was that? He's like, yeah, I'm not going to go back. Like just a quick little punchline of like, not doing that again. That was fucking awful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Just like quick in, quick out.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking like being a driver, like an Uber driver or a limo driver would be a lonely job because you're like you're
having fun in the back.
You're in there. People having fun in the back.
It's like Taxi Driver a bit, the film.
Yeah, yeah. Like
he could be like, I took up Uber. He's like, because again, the thing is for me,
just want to
I'm
meet.
Going back to there's so much free time as well now.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing we talked about once we finished the class. We were like, oh, there's gonna be open Mondays and Fridays now, and also this and that, blah blah blah. It's like if you really are married to that, and we know people that are like really heavily invested. Imagine those people that we're thinking about. 3 days of their life opens up. It's like the reason he brings up him doing Uber is like I took up Uber to fill up the dead time.
Yeah,
it's the idea of he has too much time in his life, which is so sad.
I love that, and then it's like a bunch of different cuts of
just
other
like
people.
Hard straight cuts, and it's like different times a day.
He's in the front always, and it's like them in the back,
Yeah.
a couple making out, then 3 people getting drunk. It's like different
I think the
things.
last one should be someone just like fully vomiting.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. My friend Michael made a movie called Self Driver that's really good, and it's about like a rideshare guy, and it's just horrifically it's super sad. But yeah, like all these hard, like they do that thing, and we can totally rip it off because it's a beautiful thing. But all the hard cuts,
yeah, and
people barfing. Maybe he could try to talk to someone and be like, "Hey, so how about that weather?" And the person's just like,
and again, going back to the short,
or it could be like they're like, "How's that weather?" And then they go like,
"Yeah, they just tap, they tap their
the
ear."
headphones.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
They point at the AirPods.
Just give them the "Can you fucking not" face. Like, don't talk to me. That could be cool.
So the Uber part, and again, thinking of it as a short film, everything has to be kind of a quick in and out.
Yeah,
so the Uber thing is like a half a page long of like back and forth of like cut to it, show a few vignettes, cut back, and he's like, "That's what I'm doing in my free time." And let's do the order if you guys are down for that right now.
Okay.
Order of events. Wakes up.
Breakfast.
Answering machine turns it on, or voicemails in his ear, whatever it is. While making breakfast, while doing all that, you're hearing these shitty voicemails where it's like, and you can just tell it's a guy who has no friends because the voicemails are all corporate voicemails or some like fake spam voicemails.
Just wondering if you're still looking for that loan.
Yeah. So there's all that. Even one of them could be like his mom calling, but she's like, "Oh, hey, honey," and talking. It's like, "Oh, fuck, this is Donald. Oh, sorry, I meant to call Jared." Like the other son. Like you could even do something like that if you want.
You can even be like, "Hi, honey, Mexico's great."
Yeah,
like their parents are on a trip.
They're away.
Or like that, and that. What Adeel just said. All of it. But like, she also calls him the wrong name, and then maybe like as that voicemail's playing, he goes to get his work uniform, and it's like, "Oh, Donald, we're having the best time. I'm worried about your brother Jake. He's fucking blah blah blah." And then you see the uniform, and it's like, "Hello, my name is Jake," and she's called the wrong guy.
I love that.
And we should somehow in the actions of the script talk about there's a family picture, and there are 2 sons in it, and one's like the other son is like the cooler one for sure.
Yeah.
It can be a photo on his fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like he walks past the fridge to open it for the eggs, and you see that photo.
And then
That's great.
we J-cut therapy.
So Toast burns.
Toast burns.
He starts sobbing a bit, like he starts crying. You can see like
Yeah.
he's in a cry for help kind of. He's just like really mentally just.
But like
drained.
it's almost like a emotionless sob, like you say. It's just
I'm
like
yeah, he's
so
not
dead. It's just
dancing.
like
It's just like tears, and it's like the tears are getting onto
Yeah.
his toast.
Nice.
yeah.
It's like, and I think that would hook the audience in right away. You know, when it's like
Yeah.
when someone shows vulnerability like right off the bat.
And
Is
then
he
the
like
WhatsApp message, and when he looks at it, he's reading it, and then the J cut. Sorry.
It's like a Netflix credit sequence with like just super microscopic or like macro shots of toast and like just burnt toast and water droplets. Like,
Yeah.
It's like a Fincher-esque intro credit.
it's like the ink blot shit. Yeah.
I also see it as like at the end of Call Me by Your Name. At the end of Call Me by Your Name, when it's like the credits are just like 5 minutes of Timothy Chalamet like staring at the fireplace and crying.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So sad, so
Right.
sad. But like that's also what I like picture. It's just like,
Him eating toast and just.
and it's like there's fully just tears on the toast.
Do we like the name Donald for him or Jake?
No, I don't like the name Donald.
I want like a name that's not a cool name. Donald's not cool to me. Sebastian.
Jono.
Oh.
We'll get to a name. We'll get to a name. A name's
Name
the
is the
least
hardest
important
part.
right now. It's like, how long did it take you
Don't
guys? It
finish
took
the
us
script,
8
it's over.
hours, but
Yeah.
only because it took us 20 to write the script. But the name. So Jake got to therapy, asked about work.
How's it been? Yeah, work. Show that.
Go to work,
Then he talks about his second job. He picked up
Second
Uber for
job.
killing the time.
and then meeting people on the street.
Walking the streets, meeting people. He could talk about. I'm on the fence if we do both the text and the meeting the person in the street.
Do one of those or break them apart.
Doing one of those.
Okay,
Again, my gut. I'm down to keep both.
I think at risk of making this way too long and just hitting
He
kind
just
of one
meets-
note, just meets the guy in the street because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the
And if it's just me, the guy, I kind of. What do you guys think? I kind of like that it's someone that was in his troop.
Yeah,
We don't.
okay.
We exactly.
cool.
We don't need to.
The opposing.
We know that, but we don't need to like put that in the
Yeah,
script.
yeah.
So to
No, because I
speak.
know at one point we were like, it's an opposing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like someone from his troop.
Yep.
And then we cut back, and she's like, "That's great." He's like, he did tell me about a show that's happening.
No, not show.
Oh, sorry, not show, but he did tell me they're meeting up tomorrow night or whatever. And she can be like, "Well, you can enjoy something by not being part of it." And that's when we cut to that ending.
And like it's like he told me they're meeting up tomorrow, and she's like, "Are you going?" And he's like, "No, fuck no. Like, why would I go?" And she's like, "Why would you? Why do you need to be a part of something to enjoy
Yeah.
it?" It's like, "Do you like what you do?" And he's like, "I love it. So why do you like?" Yeah, we'll find that way. But
Yeah. Because you're right. The verbiage can be so fun to play with. Because again, he's like, I can't go. It'll be like watching someone. Like the idea of how excruciating it is for him to watch someone do something that he loves.
Yeah.
But again, cryptic enough that it could be literally a band. It could be fucking a couple. He's talking about maybe a relationship. Like you don't fucking know.
Could
what
be
he's
a
talking about.
juggler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it could also be like
God, I
like
hope
this
he
guy that he
is.
met. Like it'd be kind of interesting. And this is where it's like the dialogue is so important. But that conversation he has with the guy on the street. What if the verbiage and the way we write it, it feels like he's talking to the new husband of his wife.
Yeah.
Like it makes the audience be like, oh my God, this is about that. And then they see improv and they're like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
In
Like
that
something where
ilk,
it
but
makes you,
like it's like,
we kind of lean over.
can I come back? And it's like, no,
Yeah.
like that, like
We
Yeah.
find a way about it.
Yeah, the husband-wife thing might not work just because he's gonna ask to,
Well,
to
but
be
he
invited.
can ask a different thing, right? He's like, can I
True.
come tomorrow night to the meet? Because he doesn't say it could
Like,
start with the relationship, but then.
It's like, but what? No, he shouldn't. And whatever. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the
my-
ethos of
yeah,
what you're saying.
Because my other thing was the more we talk about like the crypticness, I don't want it to get so cryptic that it's like we're just writing vague
It's
shit.
like triangle, bumblebee.
We should
light
try to
bulb.
find a way to lean
equal
into something that is a trick. Like, is specific. Like, it is a marriage or it is like a band.
Yeah, we play
need to
that
find
trope.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we can find the parallel in improv that astute listeners will pick up on.
It could be a duo, and he got replaced from a duo. No, just
And I think the team is much more
Real
like
too,
because that's
yeah.
like
So
there's
much sadder.
that's
More of a community.
it's a further place to fall from. It's like a higher place to fall from.
Yeah.
Sorry, and because like a whole like community has rejected you.
100%. 100%.
But we gotta kind of like I think we'll do it as we go. Like figure out why. Oh yeah, he was a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that already.
And they could again in in the reference.
Well, then
they talk
maybe
about
that needs to like be talked about in the meeting with this guy that he knows.
Yeah.
It's like I still don't understand why like you guys
You made it
kicked
all
me
about
out.
you.
And then
made it
because
all
you can
about
say
and these
bulldozer,
things, you know?
bulldozer's not a necessarily specific to.
But the qualities of bulldozer, if you list that out, it's just a shitty person, right? So it could be like, you made it all about you. You were very selfish. And again, you don't know. It could be a marriage still.
But
you know?
the title could be called bulldozer.
I made that joke and she was... I like bulldozer.
Something.
There's something there. We should totally do like
Yeah.
inside baseball title a little bit.
Take a shot every time Adeel says inside baseball.
Oh yeah.
You're hammered by now.
There's also groceries. Second job. I'm gonna write groceries in there because we got the 5 things joke. I don't know where groceries will go, but we got that in there. Okay.
It could also be like 5 things could be from. We could figure it out.
That's true.
Spot to put it in.
That's true. Okay. Does that feel like we got enough to?
Oh yeah.
To
Yeah.
go off
I think we
of?
have the whole thing without just again filling it up, and it'll change a bit, I'm sure, when we start writing it. But I think it's fucking there, dude.
Okay, great,
Yay.
fun. Let's
Write this.
let's go write it.
Tap, 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 tap.
And now, bulldozer. Interior motel room kitchen morning. Andy, 31, queues up some voicemails on his phone and lays it on the counter as he goes about his morning routine.
You have 3 new voicemails. First message.
Andy grabs 2 pieces of bread and tosses them in the toaster. The first message begins with the sound of a boat horn. Congratulations, you've won an all-expenses-paid trip to sunny Cancun. Please call us back with your... He hits skip as he walks to his fridge. We see a photo of his family. Mom, Dad, Jake, and Andy. Jake is obviously the cooler brother.
Next message.
Alert, alert, your bank account has been hacked.
Andy opens the fridge and takes out a carton of Go-Go Giggly orange juice and pours it into a glass. His dour expression lets us know that he is completely dead inside.
Please key in your SIN number before you lose all your money.
Andy skips the message as the toaster dings and ejects 2 slices of burnt bread.
Next message. Hey Jake, it's Mom. We're having the best time in Barbados.
Tears begin to stream down his cheeks as he takes a hard, crunchy bite of his dismal breakfast.
I know it's a big ask, but could you check on your brother Andy? I've been really worried about him and... Oh, shoot.
Cut wider and we see Andy in his work clothes, wearing a lanyard that says, Andy.
I think I may have dialed the wrong... Oh, darn it. Andy, honey?
Andy skips the message.
End of messages.
Ding! He sees a notification pop up on his phone. You've been removed from the group Goon Squad. We hear a pre-lap of the next scene.
So, how are you feeling since last week?
Well, it hasn't gotten easier.
Andy takes another bite of his toast. Cut to interior therapist office. We see Andy emotionless. He looks around the room.
Just seems like every day I'm away from it. I feel less and less like myself.
Well,
Andy interrupts her.
I miss it. I miss the attention. I miss the accountability, the routine, the mutual love and respect. Now I'm just left with nothing.
what about work?
Off Andy's somber expression, we hear his bubbly voice.
Hi there. I hope you're having a go-go giggly day.
Cut to interior cubicle. Beginning in a close-up, we see a slow zoom out as the scene progresses.
I'm calling from the Go-Go Giggly Juicers and Juice customer retention team.
The shot reveals Andy at a cubicle, wearing a headset.
I've noticed you've canceled your subscription.
The person on the other line hangs up. Andy's perky demeanor vanishes as he hits the next call button. The scene widens and Andy gets lost in a sea of other cubicles. Andy takes a deep breath and goes back to his cheerful character.
Hi there. I hope you're having a Go-Go Giggly day. I'm calling from Go-Go Giggly Juicers and Juice.
The person hangs up. Andy's expression fades quickly. He calls someone else and puts it on again.
Hi there. I hope you're having a Go-Go Giggly day.
The person hangs up, off Andy's dead eyes. Cut to interior therapist's office. A beat.
I didn't realize how much time I would have now that my days aren't filled with...
He trails off, not wanting to affirm the thought.
Have you considered any of the hobbies we talked about last week?
Yeah, I started doing Uber.
Oh, how's that been?
Cut to interior car. A montage of jump cuts showing Andy as an Uber driver. He remains quietly miserable as we cycle through various passengers in the back seat. 1, a couple ferociously making out. 2, a trio of frat boys singing loudly. And 3, a woman puking aggressively.
I'm so...
Andy doesn't even look back. He turns on the blinker. Cut to interior therapist's office. The therapist pushes back a little.
Well, Andy, that's not a hobby, is it? You need to do something for yourself.
What about cooking? I did start cooking again.
Cooking is a great hobby.
Cut to interior grocery store. A cashier, female, 20s, finishes scanning his items. A Hungry Man frozen dinner, a frozen pizza, a bag of frozen French fries, a pack of frozen pizza pockets, and one single tall can of a Go-Go Giggly Rattler.
Just those 5 things?
Andy fights back a tear. Cut to interior therapist's office. The therapist smiles.
Well, that's a good.
Andy cuts her off.
Actually, I did run into someone.
Cut to exterior street. Andy walks quickly toward a group of people, his 5 grocery items in a bag.
Harold! Harold!
No response. Andy quickens his pace and taps one of them, Harold, male, 31, on the shoulder.
Harold!
Harold turns around and tries to hide his disappointment when he sees it's Andy.
Oh, hey, man.
Harold ushers the conversation away from the group.
What's going on?
Nothing. Just,
Where's the rest of the gang?
I'll be seeing them later. We have a show tomorrow.
Andy does all he can to hide his heartbreak.
That's great.
Yeah, Lucy's gonna jump in with us.
Lucy?
Yeah,
She's a fucking bulldozer, dude.
Harold stifles a knowing look.
it's actually been cool, so.
Oh, that's great. I'm actually pretty busy these days driving for Uber.
A beat.
Great.
Another beat.
I really miss seeing you guys.
Yeah, man, it's fucking weird, but
Harold walks back to the group as he speaks.
what are you gonna do?
Andy watches the group from afar. He can barely make out their voices. Who is that?
That's the guy.
We hear the therapist's voice.
And how did that make you feel?
Cut to interior therapist's office. Andy begins to open up.
It fucking killed me.
Right. But why?
Because I no longer have access to the one thing in the world that makes me feel like me. I've been shunned.
It seems like he's talking more to himself than the therapist.
The way Harold looked at me on the street, you'd think I was a criminal. Everything I loved is gone because what? I'm a bulldozer?
Andy, there isn't a law that states you can't still be a part of that community.
Tell that to my friends.
You should go watch the show.
What? No. That would be like, it's weird.
But you said you loved it.
I do.
A contemplative beat.
Andy, why do you need to be a part of something to enjoy it?
This hits home for Andy. Cut to interior comedy bar the next night. The audience cheers as Harold and his improv team step out on stage.
Hey everyone, thank you for coming out tonight. We are the Goon Squad.
Goon Squad?
Who here hasn't seen improv before?
A wide shot of the crowd. We notice Andy amidst some light applause. A close-up of Andy, a smile creeping on his face. We hear the therapist's voice again.
I truly believe that being around that energy would do a lot of good for you.
Harold addresses the crowd again.
And who here has seen improv before?
More applause. Andy begins to clap. Slowly, his smile changes to a grin. Cut to black. Title card, Bulldozer.
Finn!
In conclusion.
Wow. Being kicked out of the improv community turned into a fun little heartwarming story about therapy and a guy named Andy who is known as a bulldozer.
And dealing with loneliness.
Kind of crazy how much improv takes over our lives.
It's true.
It leaks into the fucking script.
It leaked into the script thanks to Nick. But yeah, it's funny because I was immediately ready to be like, okay, new prompt. And then Glenna's like, no, I got this.
And it came with like,
the
best ideas are the one that come like kind of with a heart and an arc, you know? Like
Yeah.
came all with it. So it's like, oh, fuck yeah, that's fucking, it became so easy to write because of that too.
For
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
nice.
you have been an excellent guest.
Yes,
You're in the top 2 of guests we've ever had.
definitely.
Screw you. who's number 1?
No,
Oh, yeah.
you're in the top 2. We
Yeah.
can't- yeah.
I can't name names, but we would let,
I think
you
Nick
better
would.
come back.
Nick
though.
would.
Thank you for having me.
Nick,
Will you come back?
I would love to.
Okay,
yeah,
sick.
yeah, we have to. This was like a really. It's actually really nice. Maybe it's just because we've only had our like close friends on so far, but like it's nice to know that this format still works with other
Yeah.
people because it
It's
could
so
easily
cool.
like fucking get
It does
weird.
affirm us, be like, oh, we're not crazy. This is everyone. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a good format too.
I just think like the big
Smarties.
thing is the time that it takes, but like this didn't feel like a long time
No,
because we were
man.
just
Not
hanging
at
out.
all.
And that's the thing, it's hanging out at the end of the day. We're just
Yeah.
talking about scripts and films. Like I'd spend hours doing
It's your
that.
wet
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Um,
Speaking of,
Speaking of last night was really nice.
Okay, I do want to talk about the thing, but can we play a quick game?
Sure.
I would love to play a quick
Okay,
game.
do you want to do the one Justin said?
Sure.
Okay, so I feel like 5 is too many, but maybe it's not. But it's a draft. We're gonna do a draft.
Like fantasy football.
Yeah, but we're gonna draft, and I'm gonna do movie theater snacks.
Okay.
Okay, but it's gonna be a snake draft. You know what that means?
Nope.
So 1, 2, 3. So we gotta figure out an order, but
Oh, like what we did on our ride home from Montreal.
But because we go 1, 2, 3, the third person gets 2 picks.
So it's like laying your first couple of
so you go
roads
1,
and
you go
houses
2, I go
in
2.
Catan.
Then you go 1, then he gets 2. So always the end of the spectrum gets 2 choices.
Okay.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many are we picking? 5 each?
You're the game master.
Let's do 5 each.
5 each?
Is that too many?
5
I
snacks?
don't think
I don't even have
there's
that many.
5
15
snacks.
movie theater snacks, guys.
There is. Nachos. Nachos
That's your
with
first pick?
cheese.
Is that your first
No,
pick?
no.
No. Then
Oh, okay.
Let's start. You go first.
Okay. Popcorn.
Fuck. That is
Okay.
the one. That is the one.
That's the one.
I got it easy.
All right.
I'm gonna go. Is it my
Yeah,
turn?
yeah.
I'm gonna go peanut M&Ms.
Fuck you both, man. I like the. You know what's my favorite snack? Mixing those
Me
two.
too. Me too.
Ooh.
Can I sit in the middle of you two? In the movies. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go nachos just because I got 2 right now. I got 2 picks.
You got 2.
So
Mm.
nachos. Okay, so I got salty and spicy and all because I have a little jalapeno in there.
Oh.
And
They have jalapenos
oh yeah,
at
with
the movie
nachos.
theater?
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Good.
That's nothing better than watching Dune and going. I actually, just a side note, I rarely ever get snacks. Only if I'm with the person they want a snack, then I'll get it, and I will eat it if it's there. I just choose to be like, I don't want to eat or touch anything or drink anything. I just want to watch the movie.
You have to be
Sometimes-
so invested.
Sometimes,
He's
like
a
I
cinephile
go to
over
movies
here.
just to get the popcorn. Like I'm like, I'll watch
Just
whatever
walk out then.
shit. I just want
Popcorn's
to
so good.
fucking shove this.
No,
in my
if
face.
it's around, I will finish it. Like I'm not like, I want to eat, but I just don't get it because I know once I start, I'm just like, yeah.
It becomes about the popcorn.
Okay,
Exactly.
actually, like
It's like
sidebar
spice.
from the game, are you guys like butter on top, or are you like butter
Layer that shit.
layer that
Yeah.
shit?
Before they started asking you to layer it, I used to do this trick
With the straw?
With the straw. Fuck.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I
I was
know
like,
this
oh,
trick is,
I'm
like,
gonna blow the
crazy
mind.
DIY.
But for anyone who doesn't know this, you take one of those straws and you stick it in the middle, and then you put in the middle of the popcorn bag, and then you like
Oh, I didn't know
you just
that.
draw
That is really
the
cool. Okay.
drop the butter in the middle, and then swish it around.
How do you guys feel about like, because some theaters do this, but you can get like those pouches of like ketchup. And
Oh
some-
yeah, dill pickle, salt and
powder.
vinegar.
I love dill pickle
You know what they
powder.
should have did instead of that fuckable Dune fucking thing is like spice. They should have put like spice on it. They should have had like a
Oh, fuck
colored
yeah.
fucking spice.
Yeah, so it looks
That
like
you can
sand.
No, because it's all about spice, Dune, right?
Yeah, spice is
I
like the
haven't
whole
seen
thing.
Never seen Dune.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. Like it's a visual beautiful
That would have been
thing.
a
but-
great marriage because it's like, yeah, get the Dune popcorn and it's
yeah.
just, they put
And
spicy
then when the
paprika or whatever
spice
fuck.
packet's empty, you fuck it.
Then you fuck.
Yeah.
Sure, you gotta have the fuckable
Yeah.
option because why am I going to the movies
Yeah.
for not fucking something there?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That sounded so douchey.
So douchey and wrong and
Not you,
just me.
him.
It's always me, man.
But yeah, those
Sorry, I haven't picked my second one yet.
the fuckable bucket.
Nachos. Anything is sweet. You took M&M thing. I'm gonna go with. I'm realizing how much I don't eat snacks in movies. Glossettes.
Glossettes.
Yeah, the raisin ones. I'm gonna go weird with it.
You just said that with like a British accent.
Glossettes.
Glossettes.
Glossettes, eh?
So then you go again.
So your
Okay.
second pick.
Okay, I'm gonna do fuzzy peaches.
Ooh,
What am I doing? What am I doing over here, guys?
those are good.
Oh, I'm a horrible general manager.
I don't even like regular
You get
peaches,
2
but
now.
fuzzy peaches. I get 2 now. So I'm gonna do
I got one.
raspberry ginger ale because you have those pop things,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
fountains
yeah.
you can mix
Yeah, yeah.
flavors. Raspberry ginger ale, very good. And then you did peanut M&Ms, but I'm gonna do peanut butter M&Ms,
Oh, it's nice.
which are
You pull-
different, but they're
Yeah,
so
you're right, you're
they're
totally
so
different.
fucking
I
good.
hate that you're right. But
Yeah, you
you're
could
right.
pick regular
I
M&Ms.
should have. Yeah.
I get 2 now?
No, you get 1. The middle gets kind of screwed. I just realized the guest we give the worst one.
Yeah. What the heck? I'm gonna get. So I never get the chance to get 2.
No.
Or can we
How
do
does that
2 in
make any
on the
sense?
way
Okay,
back?
okay.
We
On the
do
way
on
back?
the way back.
Okay,
We'll
on
do
the way
2 in the
after
middle,
we
then
get
I
2.
just do 1. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take Coke.
Okay.
It's it helps you stay awake.
Yeah, especially when if you're in
Think
a
of great
late night,
business
if you're out,
ideas. Yeah.
you're in a bender.
You can keep
I'll
drinking.
do Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got Coke. I'm gonna take Twizzlers, and I'm gonna take cherry blasters.
Ooh, Twizzlers,
Whoa.
not nibs.
That's what I was thinking of, but no. Yeah.
Nibs are good.
Yeah.
You can put like
I don't
one
get
nib
chips.
here and one nib here, and one side of your mouth and the other side of your mouth. And like,
Yo, is it me or did they stop
Are you ever
making
like shove it
dibs?
on your tooth?
dibs?
You guys remember dibs? Like there were ice cream.
Ice
like,
cream,
They still
yeah.
make them or no?
No, those have been canceled.
Those
I
are
miss-
amazing.
What
Those
did they
are
do?
fucking- Dude,
They just took advantage of their power and took advantage of young up and coming snacks. I'm just trying to make
because
it
it got
canceled.
canceled. Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah,
They were
that's exactly-
really mean to chips when they were coming up.
really, yeah. They were investing in the chips. Your turn too.
Okay. I'm gonna do Swedish berries, and
It's pissing me off how much I'm losing like the good ones.
and the Kit Kat bags where it's like the
Yeah,
mini
that's a good
Kit
one.
Kats.
That's good. That's just too much for me, man. It's like so much Kit Kat, but so good.
It's tough. It has to be stuff you buy.
I'm just
at
very
the-
I'm very indulgent, so it's like anything like that in front of me, I will finish it within seconds. I don't go.
But you're gonna get a whole pack of Twizzlers.
Twizzlers is a bit harder for me because it's like a bite and
Fair,
it's like
fair,
fucking
fair,
chewy.
fair, fair,
Kit Kat is like down the gullet within like
Just chugging it?
Like the movie trailers will be going on, like the ones before the movie, and I'll just crush everything.
Wow, yeah. No, I do tend to like sit through fucking time play and shit and just like shoveling
Yeah,
it into my
popcorn's
face.
like done by the time the movie starts. Yeah,
It has to be stuff you buy at the theater.
Yep.
yeah, but then I want to hear the side note.
Well, it's just like weed would
no,
be.
snacks, man.
Okay. Weed's a bit of a snack. It's a snack of life. Snack consciousness snack.
Weed's
Okay.
what
okay,
makes
fine.
you want to get snacks.
Fine. You know what?
Last one.
This is my last one.
Yeah.
I feel like all the ones that cause like I could say like pretzel or something, but I don't really like that. They like
Do
suck.
they do pretzels?
I mean,
what
I
kind
feel
of
like
pretzel? Sorry, we're talking
like
about
those like big,
those
big doughy ones.
soft
Big
pretzel.
pretzels.
I find like if they're not good, they're horrible. Like
Yeah.
they
They're
just
dry,
like
then
you
they're just
bite it
fucking-
and like all the moisture in your body just goes into your mouth and into the
And it
pretzel
feels
and you're
like
like,
you have like a jaw workout after you eat it.
So I'm gonna deke. It's still snack adjacent, but you know that now they have little impulse bisections and they have like little keychains.
Sure.
I'm gonna get one of those little keychains.
You're not gonna, dude. We're not saying memorabilia. We're saying snacks.
Oh.
You can eat. Like, you don't see the rules here.
Okay, so I'm not gonna do that.
I'm gonna get a toy. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, just like it's
We're not
part of the
saying-
snack. I'm just gonna use my snack budget for a little toy.
I'm gonna use the washroom. I don't even get the. I can use the washroom, but you don't get to use the
I'm
washroom.
gonna take a shit.
Yeah. You don't understand this game.
You gotta do a draft of like rooms in a theater. I got the shitter.
I got the IMAX.
Okay, final snack then. Fuck, I guess it's a pretzel.
Yeah, love
Okay.
And I'll just roll the dice.
I'm gonna do a major throwback for the final snack. Yogenfrus. Do you remember they used to have
yeah.
Yogenfru
In
stations
the thing. Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
I'm getting a plain Yogenfru.
Wait, what? Like ice cream or balls or like what the?
No, not Dippin' Dots.
Oh, that's.
Yogenfrus was like the soft.
It was
serve
literally like
ice
mentioned
cream.
or whatever. but-
Oh, you get like a cone. Oh shit.
Or like just a
I
cup.
got in
and
a
just-
cup.
Yeah. My final one, just because it's a pretzel, it's my favorite. Actually, my favorite snack I'd say all the time, which I left and I forgot about. When I'm at home, I eat this. It's chocolate pretzels.
Mm.
Where it's
I love
you know,
those. Are my
You
favorite.
know that brand
thing, yeah.
Gold? I think it's called. Dude,
So
they're like
good.
cracked to
So
me. I can have
good.
them like unlimited. They're
Yeah.
so good. So that's my final.
That's
one.
Before the game ends, I have a shameful like I want everyone to say their most shameful moment. Most shameful moment at a movie theater. 2 years ago, I was 20 years old, and I went to see Cats the musical. Maybe it was longer than 2 years ago.
The movie musical.
Yes, I had to see it in theaters with my friend.
Yeah, I think that's.
And
worth
there
it.
was a group of preteens sitting in front of us, and they kept talking. Pissed. I literally kept going,
Oh, you were that person.
shut up.
Yeah.
good.
That's embarrassing. Having to tell someone to string cats.
Yeah, I guess that's the part. The cats
That's like
part.
James
yeah.
Corden looks naked in front of me, and I'm like, shut up. I
gotta
want to
see-
hear this
yeah,
British
yeah.
man sing.
It's not that you should.
wanna
it's
hear
that
his
you did it during
dick.
Cats.
Oh, exactly. Brutal. Embarrassing.
Well, that's our game.
I don't.
You don't have a shameful movie?
I don't
Mine
have
are
one.
Very like.
No.
Oh, okay. I got one. I
Okay.
got shushed, and that was
Oh,
fucking.
you got
I
shushed.
hated it
Whoa.
because I'm like such a like I fucking movies and you gotta. But then the thing is, I also have this thing with some of my friends where I love watching like serious films, and like films that are like Oscar level films even, but like just making fun of them by just like they'll say a line and then we'll just create a backstory to that line or we'll like add. And there's two of my friends that whenever I'm sitting with them. I'm almost like we should not sit together because that's all we'll do this whole film. So me and him started doing this during I think it was Planet of the Apes, one of the new
okay.
ones with James Franco. I think that one. But we started doing that, and yeah, we got shushed hard. And then my friend was so fucking like after 20 minutes, he started talking again. Oh, no. And I'm like, dude, no, shut up. I felt so ashamed that I'm not doing jokes anymore.
Because you're more hyper aware of the people behind you.
I am not joking anymore, and you need to shut the fuck up.
Oh,
like,
it was very,
It's like the apes are talking.
I almost, as if like I would, I was like so on the other guy's side. I'm like, yeah, you're right, shush me. Yeah.
I don't have any things like that because I'm always too scared to be that guy. But I do have a story that I was around for that didn't happen to me, but kind of happened to me. This is in high school. And our theater was right next to a Blockbuster, and like our parents would kind of dump us into movies or whatever. And our friend had a date with this girl from a different town, and they met up at the movies and stuff. And like, you go to a movies, you think you're gonna hold hands or like, kind of not talk and watch this thing, but like you kind of like, just be in contact with each other. And that didn't happen in the movies. And my friend was just kind of like, fuck, like what do I do? What do I do? And we were all hanging out.
Your friend felt like he struck out?
The friend felt like he wasn't like, making his move, so to speak, or like just trying to show affection or be like, let's make a connection tonight. And like, that's kind of like,
how old are you?
We're like 16, 17. So like, holding hands is still a big thing back then. And then we're at Blockbuster waiting for our parents to pick us up. And we're just kind of like looking at the Impulse little keychain toys and stuff and the snacks. And all of a sudden I just feel my friend's presence like inches away from my face. Like he just comes into my peripheral vision, and I turn and look at him, and he has this like most severe look on his face ever. Like he just fucking like, you need to help me bury a body kind of face. And I was just like, whoa. And he just immediately like didn't skip a beat. He's like, should I ask her to hold hands? And I was like, I don't know, man. And before I could finish answering, he just like spun on his heel and went to another friend and did the exact same thing. Should I ask her to hold hands? And my friend's like, yeah, man, I don't know. I guess so. Just do it. And then we're like,
before the movie or during the movie?
This is after.
Because like he felt like they didn't.
Because he couldn't get the courage in the movie just to like, grab the hand or touch the hand or whatever. Rightfully so. And then that happened, and there was this weird sort of exit from Blockbuster, and we're out on the sidewalk, and then we're talking about whatever bullshit, and then I just see my friend like sidle over to this girl and be like, do you want to hold hands? And she's like, what? Do you want to hold hands? And she's like, yeah. And they just like kind of did this very stiff handhold thing.
Fucking funny.
Cute.
It's very adorable. He got made fun of quite a bit for it, but I respect him for asking the question.
Yeah, that's so funny though.
Amen.
That's our game, I guess.
Yeah.
Usually we go through it. Like, do you have anything specific about this short that you like, Glenna?
I think my favorite part of this short is how visual it is, and I really love the moments of silence that we were able to find and what we were able to show through those moments of silence.
Nice. Wow. Oh my God. What an intellectual answer.
Hey.
Very smart. Very smart.
Cool.
Yeah, we used to talk about this all the time. Like, what was your favorite part? What was your least favorite part? And the least favorite part was always like, I wish we had more time to flesh this out. But the whole point of the podcast is just to fucking get something out and dump it down. So,
and we did that.
And we did it.
And I don't know if it's because you were here today, so we felt we had another brain in the kitchen. Or if it's because we're on episode 21 and we're getting better at this, or just like easier with this. But today didn't feel. What's funny is if you asked me, that wouldn't be my negative today for once. It didn't. Feel
I didn't feel.
No, for sure. But I'm just saying in general. Like usually every time I'm like, it's like I wish it could have been a few pages longer, or I wish we had more time. But today I'm like, it felt right.
Yeah, it just felt like
very right, and it felt like having so many people like adding in creative ideas. It was like I didn't feel like we didn't really, because sometimes it's like how deep can you go to a creative idea? But the fact that we had like 3 passes almost in a way.
Yeah,
on the same thing,
it's amazing to have the
so
other
you like
brain.
me more than Nick?
Hey, those are your words.
I think Nick would.
I think I'd rather piss Nick off than you. So I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna say yeah.
No, it's okay. You love us equally.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta have both of you on sometime.
That would be
chaos. That would be. We wouldn't get a script done. We would not get a script done.
We would.
We would rally.
Yeah.
When it comes down to work, we can do it.
Yeah. For sure.
When it comes down to goofing, we can do it too.
Goofing and work.
Goof Squad. 3, 2, 1. Goon Squad.
It should have been Goof, not Goon.
Yeah, and that's the
I think
play on.
Goof is like a really derogatory jail term. I think.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's like a bad word.
Huh? I'm thinking goofing off, like what you said.
I don't know. Or maybe it's goon. I don't know. One of them. Or maybe
I think one of them means criminal. I think it's goon, dude. You goofs. No, yeah, Goof Squad because it's a play on Goon Squad, which is a thing.
Yeah, it says today I just a Reddit post.
Maybe read it
Today-
before you say it out loud. Can you say it?
Okay. Today I learned that in the Canadian prison system, a goof is one of the worst insults an inmate can call another inmate, as it refers to being a child abuser.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, then good thing we didn't
Yeah,
use
we,
Goof Squad.
But we're not in prison. What the fuck? I can't use the word goof now just because prisoners made that a thing between them.
I'm just helping people out with Jeopardy questions. Okay.
That's a good point. That's a good
Oh,
point. That's a
that's
great point,
good.
actually. I'll take prison slang for 300. I actually want to watch that episode. It gets weird. Shank.
That's the Daily Double.
That's great.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Shall we wrap it on that note?
I think,
Thanks for having me.
yeah, thanks for coming,
I had so
Glenna.
much
Coming back
fun.
soon, dude.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for listening. Send us an email.
Yeah, someone please.
norewritespod@gmail.com. Interact with us. Bye. Fuck, I said the bye thing again. No Rewrites is produced by Adeel Shamsi and Jono Hunter. Edited by Justin Stevenson. Sound designed by Aaron Harastovic. Some additional voices performed by Katie Trudeau. And the stuff in between segments was recorded by Kevin Brown. If you have an idea for a prompt, email us at norewritespodcast@gmail.com or DM us at norewritespodcast on Instagram. No Rewrites is an independent show, so please make sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends, please. Thank you.